Hey there, and welcome back to Autism Advocating. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I am talking about why I talk in theory and strategy a lot on this channel. So I do tend to say some this or some kids that. I don't like to talk in specifics or concretes, if you will. I tend to speak in the fact that some children may behave this way, this may be similar to my child, this may be different, kind of vague. And the reason I use the theories and strategies is number one reason, because if you've met one child with autism, you've met one child with autism. That was the first thing we ever learned. From our doctor when she gave us a diagnosis. That's the first thing she said, because the children may all have similar characteristics to each other. So my son is similar to one of his good friends because they both love trains, which is actually quite common, but things that go, trains, cars, planes. However, not all children are the same, especially not all children with autism when it comes to diagnoses and certain autism traits, if you will. So the other reason, number two reason, I guess that's a big one, is we typically never know why. Much like we don't know what causes autism or how our child why they behave a certain way or how they respond to a certain stimulus or sensory or any of those types of things. We will never know probably the real reason why behind all of these different things. For example, we are going through a lot of GI issues right now, so gastrointestinal issues from the brain on down through the entire gut. So in that, we keep asking why is this happening, why is that happening, and there's no concrete answers necessarily, because there's multiple factors playing into what is going on in his GI tract. So that's something that's one of the main reasons why I talk in theory or strategy. When I do my autism coaching with parents, I tend to explain to them, like, you could give this a try. That's my biggest words that I say. Try this. If that doesn't work, try this. If this doesn't work, try again. And you keep trying again in different ways, and you try different tools and techniques until you find something that works for your child. Because what I can provide them as tools and tips may not work. Just because they worked for my son doesn't mean that they're going to work for their son. But to have someone to bounce ideas off of, and someone that's been through it to say, hey, you could try this. Or did you think that because you're seeing this behavior, maybe this is causing that behavior, or maybe this type of for example, I'll give you an example here. So for my son, he can get overstimulated, and then the behaviors start to increase. And so as soon as we start to see behaviors increasing, we realize we need to remove him from the situation or the environment and give him a break. And that's what he needs. So that's, just one reason. Behaviors could be increasing for a variety of reasons. We've also learned that certain behaviors happen because our son's in pain and he doesn't tell us, or isn't putting it together that he's feeling pain and he needs something from us. So that's why I talk in a lot of theories and strategies. Also, the other thing that I want to talk about regarding theory and strategy is, because we don't have the answers, what causes autism, that means there's not one treatment that's going to work. I talk to a lot of my clients about seeing different doctors, seeing different specialists, trying different services. For example, like even the riding therapy or adaptive swimming, that sort of thing, because you never know how your child is going to respond. Your child can respond very differently to your friend's child or another mother's child that you see at school. You may maybe taking your child to ABA therapy, and everyone that you're seeing around you is having great success, but it's not working for your child. And that's okay. It's hard. It's hard, but it's okay. You just try and find the next right thing for your child. There's always something else to try, most likely, until you hit a point where I don't know. I don't know what that point is. There really isn't. Try again. That's my biggest words of encouragement. And if you don't know what to try next, turn to those around you. Ask me. I'm happy to help. If you leave a comment below and you want to talk, I am happy to set up a call with you if you're stuck on something. And if I don't know the answers, I do have other families that I rely on to find answers when I'm stuck. Or if I want to try something different, but I don't have any experience with it, I turn to those resources, that community you need to build around you. And it doesn't have to be this close-knit, we talk every day type of community. I have moms that I talk to infrequently, and when we do talk, it's like, okay, yeah, what do you need? I'm happy to help. Have you tried this? What about this? Or do you need something? Maybe you need respite, but you don't have respite care because all of your resources are placed somewhere else. You want to have people that you can rely on and build that community. But that's not what this is about. This is about trying things and theory and strategy. My other really big tip regarding this is to journal things. If you're not sure if there's a pattern to a behavior, or you're seeing something new, but you're not sure how often it's happening and that sort of thing, and you kind of need to track it. Just grab any scrap sheet of paper and write down the date and time and anything surrounding the event that's occurring. So for example, all of a sudden your son starts to vocal stim, and he's not a vocal stimmer, or she. Okay, it occurred here. What was going on around that? Where were you? What were you doing? What was he doing? What was the environment like around that situation? Think of the who, what, when, where, why, how type of things, and your senses. What was he hearing? What was he seeing? What was he feeling? All of those types of things, and note as much as you can about the situation, and keep that record. When it occurs again, write the same thing down, and that way it'll help you track it and see if there's a pattern that's developing, and it'll help you through the different situations as well. So that's my big tip for you today. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you have any questions, please leave a message below. If you're interested in coaching with me, go to autismadvocating.com. You can set up a free consultation. I'd be more than happy to meet with you and see what I can do to help you and your family. But thank you so much again for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.